Hey everybody, how you doing today? Welcome to another Tuesday tutorial. I am currently on tour, and as you see, I'm in my home studio because you know this place. I'm rushing this one out before I head off on my tour of Ontario with Mike Bigger. That'll be all of November. I'm going to try to send you some live concert footage. I'm going to try to keep these tutorials up, but I just wanted to let you know what was going on. If you wonder what's happened to me, I've been doing a lot of traveling. Today I want to talk about the using a pentatonic scale to create solos within a blues progression. And I'm going to talk specifically about the key of A today. We're going to work on the key of A with the A minor progression and an A blues pattern. So the A minor scale, I want you to know, is we're going to use this one. I've got my ukulele here. This is my Barnwood made by Fred Casey. Link is in the description below. And I've got it tuned with my low G, C, E, A. Just a standard tuning. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the scale that starts with the second fret on the G string, open on the C, second fret on the C, open on the E, third fret on the E, and the open A string to top it off. So we got this open A, third fret on the E, open on the E, second fret on the C, open on the C, and first fret on the G. That's our A, our low A note. So we have this scale that runs just like that. Now that scale carries up in the same pattern. So when I go from my A to my open C, I could also do that C up on the 5th fret of my ukulele neck on my G string. So I've got my 2nd fret to the 5th fret, then I've got the 2nd fret on the C string to the 4th fret on the C string, 3rd fret on the E, because that's the same as that one there, so 3rd fret on the E string to the 5th fret on the E string, 3rd fret on the A to the 5th fret on the A. So that's my second position of that same scale. It sounds like this. Now if I were just trying to play one run of it, so from A to A, it would sound like this. So these two notes here are above that scale, right? Those are notes that happen above. That's C, D. That's the same as, right? Do you see that? So your C, D, C, D, that's your C string open and the 2nd fret. One octave above that from here is that 3rd to the 5th fret. So those are the same two notes. So that's where your scale lives, just like that. So when you're trying to put together a solo for the first time, it can be really challenging to take this information and play it over a progression and sound like you're doing anything. Because right now, if you're just new to playing scales, you're probably practicing it with a metronome and it sounds like this. And that's not very musical, is it? I mean, it's kind of boring and repetitive. But what you need to do is remember that you can use any combination of those notes, but try to center your riffs, which are your phrase of musical notes that you're going to play, on a root note. So if I'm playing over A, for example, I've got my A note here, and I've got my A note here at the other end, or here. So I can make up any kind of melody that brings me either climbs up to that A or goes down to the A. And as long as I come back to that frequently, or fairly frequently, I start to get a melody. So for example, if I've got a blues progression that sounds like this, I can do this riff that goes like... In that case, all I'm doing there is I'm literally climbing up and I'm skipping a couple of notes in the middle. I've got my A, open C, 2nd fret on the C, to that A above there. I could do that with the open string or the 5th fret on the E. So, and by repeating that phrase over and over again, it starts to sound like a melody. The same is true when I switch to, say, a D chord in the progression. what I want to do is end up on my D notes, right? And that means the second fret on the C and the fifth fret on the A string. So I can do that same kind of melody with a and so on. Just doing that, saying that's easy to say. It's hard to get it in your head. I get that. What I suggest is if you've got a friend who could sit there and play the blues progression for you. By the way, if you don't have the A blues transcription memorized or anything like that, you can get it from a link down in the description below, attached in this Patreon post. But get a friend to play it with you, or if you've got a looper like I do. Now, you can't see it right now. I'll take a picture and show it to you, cut in about here. I've got my pedal board here, and I've got an A blues phrase set up that'll just play for me. All I did was run this same progression, just like this. And now D, back to A, and E7, D7, and A. All I did was record that, so here we go. And this will be so I can play over it and create those phrases that will make my soloing make more sense. Here's my D. Back to my A. So, let's look at that phrase that we were working on. So we've got this. We need something to connect it back down. So we've got this phrase, it's like. Then why don't we do this third fret, second fret, or fourth fret on the C, second fret on the C, open, A, down. So it's. So that's our whole A section. We need something for the D. So as I mentioned, we got this. We could do the same riff here. That's how we'll come down on that. Again, all I'm doing is sticking to that basic scale in that first position, which you want to practice over and over again. And then we need something for our E. So when I make my E7 chord, I can notice that I've got that note in it. These are all the notes that are playing in that E7 chord. So I could do this, or I can. Let's try putting some of that together, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. see that with a little bit of practice with a friend or with a looper, running those progressions and just playing over and over again just a few notes, you can create a very simple melody, a simple solo that actually sounds like you're doing something. And the trick to this, I'm honest to God, I swear to you, the trick to this, practice the scales, get to know them, know the notes that you're playing to, so that you got your D note here on the 2nd fret of the C string, you got an E note on the 4th fret of the C string. Get to know that. But after that, you could play any note and you could make it work. And it's all about developing your skills. So just like you practice your strumming to get your strumming hand working, you start practicing picking notes in a faster fashion. So right now I've got this quarter note riff going on. It's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You kind of, it's all quarter note. But if I wanted to play that faster, I could do a. I can do all kinds of hammer-ons, pull-offs, different tricks that I can work on. And so a hammer-on is where you pluck the note and then you hammer a finger down on the next note up from it. So in this case, 3rd fret on the E string up to the 5th fret on the E string, which is an A note, right? So I'm going from G to A. A pull-off, which is the opposite, is the reverse. I pick that 5th fret and I pull off to the G. To do this, I'm just with my right hand, you can see I'm just. So it's just over and over again, pulling off, hammer-ons, runs. So I encourage you to practice away, get some of that down. We're going to do more and more of these kind of in-depth breakdowns. So this is your A blues progression with an A minor pentatonic scale over top of it. Have some fun with it. We'll see you next week with some live footage from the road, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road. Please come and check my schedule at manitobahal.com, and if I'm near you, come by and say hi.